A battery with an energy density of 400 watt-hours per kilogram should have been a revolution. A battery at 160 watt-hours per kilogram should have been obsolete. Yet by 2026, the technology widely seen as inferior is the only one being produced in millions of cells per year, because markets do not fund promises, they fund certainty. So, what is the market actually more afraid of, physical limits or risks that cannot be quantified? Donut Labs' claims are undeniably seductive. Energy density approaching 400 watt-hours per kilogram. Charging times measured in minutes. Long cycle life. Reduced dependence on lithium. Put that into perspective. Most commercial lithium-ion EV cells today operate between 160 and 260 watt-hours per kilogram. A genuine 400 watt-hours per kilogram automotive-grade cell would not be an improvement. It would be a rupture. Vehicle architectures would change overnight. Charging infrastructure assumptions would collapse. Cost models would be rewritten. So here's the first hook most people miss. If the claims are that powerful, why isn't the market rushing in? That question explains why the market reacts with skepticism instead of excitement. Engineers and investors don't ask, "Is this theoretically possible?" They ask something far more brutal. Where is the industrial proof? As of 2026, Donut Lab has disclosed no automotive supply contracts, no production lines measured in gigawatt-hours, and no independently verified performance data under real thermal, mechanical, and aging conditions. From a market perspective, Donut Lab remains in the attention phase, not the validation phase. Now put sodium-ion next to it. Sodium-ion offers no miracles. Commercial cells typically deliver 120 to 160 watt-hours per kilogram, with second-generation designs targeting 170 to 180 watt-hours per kilogram. That is lower than high-end lithium-ion and roughly comparable to LFP. On paper, sodium-ion looks weaker. Here's the uncomfortable hook. And yet, the market treats sodium-ion as real. Why? Because sodium-ion is already being manufactured at scale. KTL, the world's largest battery producer, has committed to sodium-ion production lines measured in multiple gigawatt-hours, targeting low-cost EVs and stationary energy storage. Chinese manufacturers have already deployed sodium-ion packs in electric scooters, compact city cars, and grid-scale storage systems. The market reaction is quiet, but decisive. No hype, no debates, just execution. This contrast reveals the second truth neither side likes to say out loud. Markets don't fund the best battery. They fund the least dangerous one. From an engineering standpoint, Donut Labs' claims imply solving several unsolved problems simultaneously. Solid-state batteries must overcome interfacial resistance between solid electrolytes and electrodes, suppress dendrite growth under high current, survive mechanical stress from vibration and expansion, and maintain acceptable yield at scale. Each of these challenges has delayed solid-state commercialization for over a decade. Solving all of them at once would be historic. Here's the hook investors understand instinctively. Markets don't price history as certainty. They price it as risk. That's exactly how Donut Lab is treated. Sodium-ion requires no new physics. Its electrochemistry is well understood. The remaining challenges: cycle life, low-temperature performance, energy density optimization, are industrial problems. These are the problems markets know how to solve with time, capital, and iteration. Ask yourself this question. Which battery technology keeps insurance companies awake at night? It's never the one with lower energy density. It's the one with poorly understood failure modes. That single reality explains why automakers move slowly and conservatively. One battery recall can cost billions and permanently damage brand trust. This is where sodium-ion quietly succeeds. It doesn't aim for premium EVs. It targets segments where lithium-ion is economically inefficient short-range vehicles, two-wheelers, cold climate storage, and grid buffering. In those markets, absolute energy density matters far less than predictability. Cost data reinforces the point. By 2025, LFP lithium-ion battery pack costs in China fell to roughly USD 60 to 75 per kilowatt-hour, driven by massive scale and ruthless manufacturing efficiency. Sodium-ion packs, despite cheaper raw materials, still sit around USD 80 to 90 per kilowatt-hour due to lower yields and immature supply chains. Here's the hook most people ignore. Cheap materials do not automatically produce cheap batteries. Sodium-ion isn't winning because it's cheaper today. It's winning because its cost curve is stable. Sodium is abundant, geopolitically neutral, and insulated from the commodity volatility that shook lithium markets between 2021 and 2023. For large buyers, stability often matters more than headline price. Donut Lab does not yet offer that stability. Its entire value proposition depends on performance superiority that has not been demonstrated at industrial scale. Without that proof, the market cannot quantify downside risk. And risk that cannot be quantified cannot be financed. The third truth is timing. Global grid-scale energy storage capacity is growing at over 30% per year. Grid operators prioritize safety, cycle life, and predictable degradation. Not record-breaking energy density, sodium-ion fits those needs perfectly. Emerging markets demand low-cost EVs for dense urban environments where range expectations are modest. Sodium-ion fits again? Donut Lab, by contrast, targets high-performance EVs, the most conservative, risk-averse segment of the automotive industry. That market already has workable solutions. Lithium-ion continues to improve incrementally. LFP has largely solved cost constraints. Silicon-enhanced anodes are steadily narrowing the performance gap. From a market perspective, Donut Lab proposes a radical solution to a problem that is no longer urgent. This leads to the conclusion most headlines avoid. Donut Lab and sodium-ion are not competitors. Sodium-ion competes with lithium-ion on risk management and supply stability. Donut Lab competes with physics itself. As a former engineer, I trust markets more than narratives. Markets are not emotional, they are selective. They do not reject Donut Lab because it is impossible. They ignore it because it is unproven. They accept sodium-ion not because it is superior, but because it is sufficient. And that is the final truth neither technology likes to admit. The future of batteries will not be decided by the most impressive specification, but by the chemistry that causes the fewest sleepless nights for CFOs, regulators, and insurers. Right now, sodium-ion fits that definition. Donut Lab does not. Yet. And in markets, silence is not ignorance. It is judgment.